Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name's Chris and it's fantastic to have you back with us for another video. And in today's video, I'm going to go over a really important topic, and that is influencers. This is you at home and crypto in general, right? Like, I think this is a really important video. I got a message from, I'm going to say a community follower on Twitter, and I had to respond because I think our communication is good. Maybe I'm wrong. Comment below and let me know. But I'm going to try to be very clear and concise with what I try to cover in today's video for the benefit of everybody. So if you enjoy this sort of content, mash that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tap in that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video. And let's just get straight into it. Let's get down to the desktop. Okay, so we're going to start on coin market cap. I can't get my words out. The market is at $2.16 trillion for the total market cap. Bitcoin at 47,469 and Ethereum at $3,405. All looking pretty good, but Nick and myself are expecting a pullback. So let's just be really clear on that. What happens when you FOMO in, we expect the pullback, right? So just be careful out there. The market is volatile. Do not invest more money than you can afford to lose, and you should treat this video as educational purposes only. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about time horizons. Let's talk about time horizons. So let's use Stellar Lumens as an example. We've got a fantastic article here. I will link it in the description of the video for you. Obviously it came out today, and basically this is saying if you had purchased this crypto and you had basically invested $1,000, you would almost have $95,000 in 5 years. And this is basically going back and saying that basically Stellar Lumens has grown by over 9,000% in the past 5 years. So you could have had $95,000 if you had invested $1,000. So I think this is a great article in many ways because it illustrates something really, really important, right? Obviously, the last few weeks and months have been, they've been quite challenging for investors within the crypto space, right? We've had red day after red day. We've had immense pullbacks in the market. It's been a deep correction in the space. A lot of people calling for this to be classed as a bear market, and ultimately it's terminology, right? I would say it's a bear phase within a bull cycle. Others would say it's a very short bear market, but everybody's terminology is different, right? But ultimately it's been painful for many people, including myself, including Nick. Our portfolios have looked terrible recently. But, we have said that we were expecting that pullback. So there was opportunities that we highlighted for people to come out of the market, sell up, come out of the market, and could have purchased this dip. And many people in our Discord and our Patreon members did. So, we're not giving financial advice here, but we are highlighting what we see in the market, with our opinions. And ultimately, because we're not giving financial advice, we're not saying you need to sell now because we're going to dip, or going to have a big pullback. We're not doing that. We're just saying, look, we're expecting a big pullback. It's up to you guys. You guys have got to make your own financial and investment decisions as to what you do. But this article really does illustrate that if you zoom out, and just look at the bigger picture over the long term, you are, if you pick the right project with the right, team, like a solid team, solid tech, a great use case, good utility, great sized community that's engaged, all of these things and more, then ultimately long term, you could be in the position like this with Stellar Lumens as the example being illustrated, right? I will link this in the description, but the reason why I'm doing this video is pretty much because I received a Twitter DM, right? So what I want to do is I want to dissect this comment here in the DM right now. So first of all, I want to kind of say I hate to see when people lose money. And that is the purpose of this video, right? Is to just sort of cover off my thoughts on all of this, right? So because I care, right? It's just to be clear. So let's sort of dissect this, right? So you guys need to communicate better with your channel members. So let's just sort of focus on this part of the comment or the DM here, right? And I don't know how I can better communicate that we are not financial advisors, because we say this on every video, right? This is a volatile market and you should never invest more than you're willing to lose. This should be treated as educational purposes only. Don't FOMO in. Go do your own research. These are all things that we say pretty much in every single video. We always say that it's our opinion and our opinion only. We also tell you not to listen to influencers, because they could be, shilling you a paid promotion, for example, and not telling you. Please let me know in the comments below how I can communicate better with people as to what we're doing here, because Nick and myself are giving our views and our opinions on the market with the best intentions. Yeah, and that is that, right? So if you want to perhaps have more meaningful conversations with us, jump into our Discord. Link is in the description. It's free to join. Or become a Patreon member. We do 2 weekly AMAs where you can ask us anything. We quite often jump into voice chats with our members. So outside of that, let me know in the comments below what we can do differently to help people understand what it is that we're doing here, because I don't want to be receiving messages. Well, I don't want any messages where people are losing money. That's that's horrendous for me. I want everybody to be successful. But again, I don't want people sending me DMs shifting the blame from their financial decisions to making it as if making out it's us that's caused it, right? I've always kind of said that I never jump between projects. I never chase green candles. The way I view this is I view this as perhaps gambling. When a gambler loses all of their money and they go back to their cash machine or their bank and they get more money out to win it back, right? Like, chasing money is never like something that I've ever agreed with. It's nothing I've ever condoned. So jumping between projects is just, I think that's in the same vein, right? I think that's just chasing money. And when you chase money, for me, you're never successful. So the other thing I'd like to mention is, just understand that this is coming from a really good place, because if we're not communicating as well as we think we are, I just want to know what it is that we can do to improve this moving forward. So you have been saying Harmony won $2, right? So my opinion and Nick's opinion, based on technical analysis at certain points in the year, bearing in mind Harmony went up to about 37, almost 38 cent. These numbers would have been seen in the technical analysis as possible based on the mathematics used. So these aren't like Nick and myself putting our finger in the air and just going, this is the price. And there's much worse channels out there for, flagging projects, with silly price predictions, right? I've seen ETH at 100,000. I've seen ETH at 10,000, 20,000 and so on, even from hedge fund managers calling out huge numbers for projects, right? Multi-vac to 30 cent, right? Like, yeah, this again would have been seen in the technical analysis, and potentially achievable, if the team actually put out a decent roadmap, communicated better, and listened to their community and put actions in place off the back of what the community is saying. Do I think that both of these projects can get to these figures? Yes, I do. Ultimately, it's a bit like the Stellar scenario, which Stellar Lumens, which I highlighted in the article earlier. These are potentially possible. Here I know that investing is your own risk, and that's fine, taking my losses, but dial back the wild predictions. I don't think that they are wild predictions. Let me know in the comments below whether you think they are wild predictions. Harmony to $1 or $2 I don't think is something that's inconceivable based on the adoption of crypto that I believe is coming, and same with multi-vac. Probably less probable now, but ultimately if you invested because we said that it was going, we thought that it was going to these prices, then you should have done your own research, which is what we keep saying on this channel, right? Now wild predictions. We called out Solana when I think it was about $38. We called out 185. It's happened. You know, people were calling us crazy when we were calling that out, and I think this comes down to perception. But you know, interested to get people's views and opinions. One thing that I do want to highlight is we've covered about 43 different projects in this space. So if you had invested $1,000 in each and every single project we had highlighted on this channel, when we highlighted it, you would have spent $43,000. At the bottom of the pullback, you would have had $255,000 plus. If you had sold each and every single one of those after Nick and myself originally highlighted it at its all-time high, but at an individual basis, you'd have over $600,000. So, you know, I think overall our predictions, you know, have been largely very, very positive. And you know, this is obviously, you know, fact. This isn't fiction. You can go check it out. We've got a spreadsheet on our Discord. But ultimately, you know, we've been very, very successful with, you know, what we're doing here, in my humble opinion. Now, I know that not everybody's going to have invested in every single project, and you may have got in at a much higher price. But ultimately, this is why Nick and myself are always saying you need to go do your own research. But ultimately, you know, the projects that we've called out here have been largely successful. Nick and myself don't do paid promotions. We don't do shills. We just talk about projects that we really like. Here's an example. So we got into both of these projects at less than 0.5%. If you invested $1,000 the day that we highlighted Harmony 1, you would now have 39,641. If you sold it at its peak, you'd have had over $90,000. Multivac, again, under 0.5%, you would now have $1,288. At the peak, at 2 cents 7, you would have had $5,650. So overall, we're still in profit from when we highlighted it, but I understand people would have got in at different times. That's unfortunate. But ultimately, these projects, I think, can, you know, potentially do, you know, the numbers that we're talking about. But, you know, ultimately, you know, it comes down to, you know, taking ownership and accountability of your own investment decisions. I don't know what more I can do or say in order to make it clearer for people that we're not giving financial advice. We're talking about our opinions on the market and the projects that we think are really good and, you know, going to do really well. These are nothing more than our opinions. You know, and ultimately, you know, you've got to go do your own research. Let us know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are. Really interested to know. I want you to also know that, you know, we put this video together because we actually really do care. We, you know, we make the content because we want people to be successful, right? Like, I certainly don't want people losing money. I think that the market has a very bizarre way of making people feel like, you know, it's the end, for example, you know, and I think that some of the influencers in the space don't help the situation, you know, talking about prolonged bear markets when it clearly isn't. You know, I kind of feel like people need to take ownership and accountability of the decisions that they make, rather than just throwing it on an influencer, because an influencer has once said that, you know, a project's going to go to X, Y, and Z. Obviously, everybody's got opinions. There's people that have got different opinions to myself, right? And ultimately, that is fine. But, you know, I just want everybody to know that everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto comes from a really good place. We want everybody to be successful. We don't shill. We don't do any of that dodgy stuff that you hear other influencers doing. Ultimately, we are the cleanest, most transparent channel there is out there. I highlight, you know, and document everything that we do on this channel. You know, we in our Discord, our Patreon membership, we log our exit strategies, we log our buys and sells as we're doing them. Yeah, sometimes I talk about what I'm going to buy, and the price moves, I can't get it because everybody else has FOMO'd in before me. Like, we don't sell project coins after talking about them. We don't do any of this absolute nonsense stuff. The reason why I don't do it, and the reason why Nick doesn't do it, is because actually we think it's bad for adoption. We think in the long term it's not good for crypto, and it's not good for our portfolios. The best thing for our portfolios is getting more and more people through the door and investing in cryptocurrency, getting more and more people successful. That's how we win. This is how our portfolio grows. Our portfolio doesn't grow by, selling shitcoins on our community and all these terrible things, these terrible acts that these other channels, choose to do, right? Like Nick and myself, literally the most transparent channel out there. So, I just hope that this was useful. If it was, mash up that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tapping that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.